Shalom, peace. Welcome to Movie Innerstandings. I'm Achi, you know what I'm talking about? And today we are talking about the movie Amina, you know, um, which was very interesting. It left a lot to be desired. Um, but the premise, if it was hashed out a little bit better, it could have been very wonderful because it had an insight into it, right? You know what I'm talking about? But with this one, you know what I'm talking about. We're dealing with the Zazao kingdom, you know, and give thanks, Sister Kashia, and the Zaza kingdom is in present day Nigeria, northwest region. Um, the the city of Zaria is still there. Um, and you know, put it in context, Amina is basically born in 1533. So this is during the 1600s, right? And the movie doesn't show uh, a few things. Like you don't understand, you know, that during this time, this was a period of seven kingdoms. And Zhao Zhao is one of the largest seven kingdoms, but it's also apparently a slave province, slave trading province, which you don't get a lot of context. Peace and eye. You don't get a lot of context for this. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, okay, so you don't want to put a Western perspective when you hear certain words like that, you know. But it is what it is. In the start of the movie, you see that. You know what I'm talking about. You see the slaves fighting like it's the gladiatorial games, you know, slave fighting for their freedom against, you know, the champion, and that is the Karakai of Zazo, and only Dajuna, um, who was the rebel prince of Igala, he beats Karakai, but he doesn't get his freedom. He wants freedom for him and his cousin, Aladi Amin. Well, Aladi Ame. And that doesn't happen. But at the point in the movie, we see Amina is a little girl with her sister Zaria, and she befriends um, Aladi, and gets her out of slavery. Right. Um, a lot. One thing you see also in this movie is that there's a lot of titles. You don't really have names in a sense. You have titles. You know, which is very interesting because of the simple fact that you don't refer to the king or any person of court by their name. You call them by their title. You know. So when you see the king knock not Nakatao. I can't say it, but they call him the Sarki. You know this, but then they say, "Oh, son of the son of the seven kingdoms." He's with titles. You know what I'm talking about. But then you have the Maraki. You know, it's basically like seeing like the prime minister of the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Which is his title. You never know his name, but with Dajuna, you know, he's brought before the council to decide his fate, you know, whether they kill him or not, you know, even though he won, you know, won his battle, they're still trying to decide his fate. But um Amina speaks for him. And then her father's like, well, how dare you, come and speak for him at the council, you know, like it's your own plaything. But she goes back to her father, with respect. This is one thing you see protocols and respect given to parents and titles. Um, she doesn't just go to her father like, father, like, daddy, give me this, daddy, do. She respects his title, and she says, "Oh, great son of the seven kingdoms, may you live forever." She gives him his due props in that sense. And even after the council, when she shows respect to her father, and she's like, "Do you hate me, father?" And he's like, "No," But then she asks her father if she can learn, the way of the sword and military uh, martial sciences. We'll just say it like that, which he agrees. Now, the monarchy, he's like, well, no woman does that. Even the Saki's like, well, we protect our women. We and it's always been that way. But she wants to learn the sword. So because she wants to learn the sword, and that's my daughter, she can learn it. And she wants the Kabakai to teach her, the former champion of Zuzzle, which she does, But then you see, Aladi Amin and Amina and Zaria, they they become friends, and she stays with them, So she's allowed to basically be of her retinue. We'll just say like that, because you really don't know what Aladi Amin does, but she's of royal blood, and we see Amina, train, and then we see that Zazao is under stress from, fighting, the Jukans and the Igala, right? But, we see that also that the monarchy, who sent a woman to be the consort of the Saki, or the king, he's having an affair with her. He's seeing her on the side, but he promised to make her the world consort, but he also tries to bribe the Kabaki, to assassinate, Dajana. And the Kabakai is the son of the priestess of Zazu. This part could have been more interesting, because there's a lot of backstory. Apparently, the priestess gave a prophecy that the Sarki didn't like, and she got banished to the mountains. And she talks to the Saki, that you can't stop her destiny. It's going to come, But, we see underhandedly that, the regent of Agala, who is the uncle of Dajana, is trying to really assassinate him. And he works with the monarchy. You have politics in this, but you don't really get the foreground of each nation's intent, or what they really want out of all of this. Why are they going to war with Zazao, and what's the issue that's causing all these problems? You really don't understand that. But you see that to basically mess with, I would say, Dajana, Aladi Ame is, well, not to mess with Dajana, but to basically cover up the hit that the Kabakai tried to put on. No, the Madaki tried to put on the Kabakai, because he didn't take his bribe. He arrests Aladi Ame to say, oh, well, she sent those spies to kill the Kabakai. That's why he's gone. But that's not true. and then you see the princesses are in the dungeon with their friend, and that makes the Saki. He's mad about that. You know what I'm talking about. And after that, after she's freed, after Aladi is freed, and they come out of the dungeon, we see that Amina goes to the mountain, and she goes to meet the priestess and also the Kabakai. But when she meets the priestess, she says, "You're late," you know, and she's like, "I'm Amina." You know, you sometimes you get arrogance in this movie when it comes to Amina. Maybe it's set up to be that way because it's sort of like a feministic view on this historical figure. But I'm Amina. You know, I'm not afraid of nobody, and this is who I am, and da 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 da. But she's like, "You're late." You know, and she's like, "Late for what?" "To your destiny. You're late," which is basically should have been the great premise of this movie. You know, sometimes you hear the saying, you know, "You're so late, you'll be late to your own funeral." But nobody ever thinks about being late to their own destiny or their own purpose. And the issues that could cause, you know, and if we're thinking in the stream of time or something like that, being late to one's destiny and how that could possibly change a little of a lot of what was supposed to happen, right? That's what this tale could have been about, you know, and probably should have been, because that would have been a better, interesting tale to tell. Besides also telling the tale of an historical figure, you see how being late to one's destiny can cause issues. So you always got to be on time, you know. But that don't mean you don't show up even if you're late, I guess. So she goes there, and you know, as she's there, she goes into the cave of vision. She sees her destiny, and she sees that, you know, she will inherit the throne, but is basically on the seat of the dead, which sort of also already tells you that she was going to be late anyway. She was going to be late anyway, and they knew that, you know, that she was going to be late. You know, so it was like it was already planned from the get go, in a sense. But you know, we see, you know, Dajna and Amina, they have like a love tryst, which didn't make sense. It did make sense, you know, um, or you didn't get a lot of context or background behind it, you know, or relationship build up, you know, or why she has to go on a quest to the well to get, you know, this blood. You don't get context for it, you know, and only then do you, like at the end of the movie, you see what was the big reason to get, you know, the blood from the well, you know, or why it was cursed and things like that. It's never really uh talked about to a point, but you see that the Kabakai um gets ambushed along with Amina and the gang and her sister Zarya. And the Kabakai, he was, you know, he's the son of the priestess, so she's already gave him charms to protect his body and things like that. You also see that with Dajina, but you know, you sort of, like I said, you sort of don't get context till later on or whatever. It's never bigged up like this. This could be really cool if they, you know, did it right, but because he slept with a a chick like Samson, you know, like Samson, you know, you slept with a chick you probably was supposed to. His his protections were gone, and the Madagi was able to kill him with just a bow and arrow. But also you see Zarya dies through a stab wound from the ambush, which she's not supposed to die. She's supposed to, come back unharmed, but that doesn't happen. She ends up dying, And we also get to see, that after Zarya's death, Amina wants to marry Dajina, but like I said, you don't get. And her father's like, nah, that's not the best recourse or whatever. But she was like, you gave an oath to my mother that you would let me choose. You wouldn't bought off my marriage to anyone. And it's like, well, are you going to go back on your word, on your oath? And he doesn't. But we see that the royal consort, Mero is her name. She is set up to betray Sarki, but it's like the Madaki tries to seduce her in a way with pretty words. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm gonna make you this, I'm gonna make you that. I see you as this. I see he's he's sort of dirty back in there, but he's giving her all these promises, and you can already tell that he's shiesty. And even the Sarki knows, like, bruh, you got all these women and you're still not satisfied. You got all these wives and you're still not satisfied. What is wrong with you? You even try to covet my daughters. Not, I don't want that. But I thought that, once I thought that the Sarki could pick up on, Meryl's treachery. Because he just had that look like, chick, I see you. I know what you're trying to do. Why are you sticking up for the monarchy so much? Like, he just had that look like, I was not born yesterday. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, chick. You foul. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But as that's happening, Dajin and Amina trying to get it on, and then they're interrupted by another ambush. An ambush that was just a mess, but it was an ambush. And he dies trying to save Amina, which makes May mad because it makes him look like a traitor to his own people, to the Agalic kingdom, because he chose Amina, and she's like, well, you loved him, but he's dead, just like Zarya's dead. Everybody that's around you dies. Like I say, it doesn't show the path of the or the cautionary tale of the path of the warrior woman, warrior princess, warrior queen. Usually you see that and you think it's all nice and sunshines and rainbows. You got this warrior woman that fights and she looks pretty while she's doing it. You don't see the blood that's on her hands, or the blood that could have been prevented if she was more strategic and diplomatic and thought in those lines, or the path, or the fact that she's alone. But that scene does say something, because historically it is said that every town she went to and she saw a man that she liked, and she apparently got with, he ended up dying the next day, like Black Widow. I don't know if it's true, but that's just what's been said. Don't make it true, but yeah. So we see the Sarki is poisoned by Meryl and he's killed, and then the Madaki, he takes over, as king, but he doesn't keep his word to Meryl. She doesn't become, I guess you could say, the queen or the war consort. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. it doesn't look like it happens. She just is treated as the widow of of the former Sarki. You know what I'm talking about? So he's shiesty. Like there's political intrigue here, but you don't get that, you know, in a sense. But you see that Amina is on campaign against the Igala, but you know it's really not bigged up a lot. But she hears the news and then she withdraws on the field of battle, you know, um, and that causes problems in Zazo because it was like she left the field of battle. That's you know that's insubordination. You know, that's punishable by death. You know, in the law. But the Madaki, well, now the Sarki, he sends an army at the border to stop her, but she makes light work of it, right? Um, Amina basically she beats that army, then she invades, you know, Zazzle, and we see that you know this is civil war now, you know, but you don't get the intensity of a civil war in this instance, you know. It just looks like one person's arrogance, you know. But when it seems like I guess all is lost, you know what I'm talking about. Here comes Aladi coming in to help Amina, you know, to help her take the throne, which happens. But what do you see? You see that the queen stands alone. She finally kills the Madaki, and but she stands alone, and she stands on what dead people in basically the kraal or the courtyard. But who's there? The priestess. You know, she comes and goes, and she's like, "Well, I didn't expect this to happen, but it was shown to you already." You know, but then the priestess tells her, you know, you still have to fulfill your destiny, but you were late. I told you were late. You know, that's why I said this could have been bigged up a lot more because you were late. You could have got that wisdom where because you were late, this is what happened. It wasn't supposed to end up like this. You know, you weren't supposed to probably win the kingdom through blood and things like that. You know, to properly rule in a sense. But yeah, so you know, after that, you know, the movie's basically over. We find out that she ruled for 30 years and expanded the territory. Um, we do know historically that she built these walls, you know, around, you know, Zazo. And those walls stayed. They call them the wall. I mean, Amina's walls, and they stayed around and basically unimpeded until the British, you know, invaded in 1904. You know, which says something in a sense. You know, these fortified earthen walls. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, under her, it did flourish. But what do not hear? You know, she ain't had no man apparently. You know, you see that reoccurrence with so-called hardened uh women rulers. You know, they rule or they're considered great, but they rule alone. You know what I'm saying? They never, you know, sort of have a mate or counterpart. You know, in a sense, you know, you can look, you know, at a few, you know, mostly in the Western kingdoms though, but you know, in Western monarchies, there's you know, few famous ones that we know. But yeah, this like I say, it was very interesting. Um, and it, like I say, it could have been a lot better. You could have drawn upon a lot because you have 7 kingdoms to pull from apparently, and it could have got a lot of more political if you would have put all 7 kingdoms into view and see what each one wanted. You know what I'm saying? And how do you rule so-called seven kingdoms like that, and keep that type of balance. It also shows you like not once but twice, sort of, when you have charms and protection put on you, sleeping with the wrong woman can kill you. Can kill you, because it happens to the comic guy, and then it happens to Dodger, because Dodger itself, he has charms put on him through the priest of his own people, but it doesn't last. You know what I'm saying? It seems like once he was about to, have a night, a wonderful night, that's when he gets stabs with a spear. So you gotta be careful, um, who you lay down with, in that sense. You don't want to have your protections taken away from you. You got to watch out for that. So, yeah, that's all I want to say about this one. This is gonna be light anyway. So, but I would say greatly pay attention to Destiny and being late. When it comes to Destiny, that could have been a central point of this dang on movie, and would have been wonderful. But yeah, join us next week when we talk about the movie Free Guy. We're gonna do Free Guy next, and that should be interesting in itself. We're gonna get a little bit into video games and whatnot, but yeah, we're gonna go back into the Matrix, different Matrix, but we're gonna go back to the realm of the Matrix on that one. So give thanks, everybody. Remember, we have Shema New tomorrow, and we gonna show up and show out like always. And remember to like, share, and subscribe, and join up at our New Life Global .org. And I will see y'all next strong for Free Guy. So give thanks and peace.